This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
Well, again, I want to start off by saying to God be the glory. First of all, also want to just state that on behalf of our entire football staff, we want to really just want to thank all the servicemen and women of the military for all the things that they have done. More importantly, they give us an opportunity to coach and teach and play this game of football, and want to thank them, and particularly the veterans. Obviously, yesterday was Veterans Day. Also, today, our staff, we kind of say some prayers for the people there in the state of California, all the wildfires, firefighters, first responders, and obviously going to continue to be a devastation there that's going on there in California. So we prayed for them and want to continue to, hopefully the Liberty family continues to pray. Obviously, there may be some people that are involved right now. They're involved in it as far as Liberty people. We do not have at this point in time anybody on our team that's involved in that, but we'll continue to monitor that. About the game, I thought the defense improved in an area that we talked about as far as trying to limit explosive plays. And over 20 yards, we did limit it to 3, which was pretty much emphasized that quite a bit to say keep everything in front, continue to tackle well. I think we accomplished that. Offensively, I thought we moved the ball very, very well against Virginia throughout the ball game. I thought that was very, very good to see our running game continue to have success, continue to be averaging 4+ yards per carry. It was good to see, again, another person over 100 yards. Almost had 2 backs over 100 yards, so I think we continue to progress in that way. Last thing here, just about the game, I thought it was very good that we were competed very well in the game, throughout the game. That's all you can ask for. We just talk about compete, and continue to do the best you can in every single football game. Now turning on to Auburn. It's going to be a challenge. Sit there and you watch the tape. A lot of tremendous players, particularly when you start talking about the D-line. The whole defensive side of the ball is very, very talented. Offensive side of the ball, offensive line, running backs, quarterbacks there is pretty good. 2 receivers on the outside that can flat out run and can go. Gus Malzahn's a tremendous innovator of the game of offense. Just been tremendous there. Obviously, coached in the high school ranks and moved his way all the way up and been very, very successful everywhere he's been, and he's continued to be successful. Chip Lindsey, he's done a fantastic job as a coordinator. Actually, coached a young man that's played for the 49ers there, Mullins, at Southern Miss. So everywhere he's been, he's broken records at every school that he's been a part of. He was at Arizona State, was the last school that he was at, and continues to do some great things there at Auburn as far as running their offense. Defensive coordinator there, Kevin Steele. I coached with him for 3 years there at Nebraska, so we've been good friends and know his kids and his families and all that. So it's been very, very good. We've chatted periodically, not a whole lot, but definitely has been someone that I've kept in contact with and trying to help me through the football ranks and different things of that nature. So their defense is, like I mentioned, is fantastic. They get after it, and they I think 80+ tackles for losses. That's just unbelievable, and that tells you a whole lot about it. Most of it is a D-line. Obviously, they got a few of their linebackers do blitz and do some things of that nature. They play a lot of man-to-man coverage. They do what we call a match man-2 and doing a combination of those coverages, and so we got to make sure that we're on track to be able to do the things that we need to do. Special teams-wise, they have a punter that's very, very good. Places the ball very well on the sideline, very consistent, 45 yards he averages. They've done a very good job on the return game. They do some good things on all sides of the ball, so they got some returners that can flat out run and can go. Another guy on their staff that I know pretty well there, J.B. Grimes, is their offensive line coach. He was my offensive line coach when I was at Kansas, so I know him pretty well and his family and so on and so forth there too. Update on the injuries. Chappelle Morris, he is out. Ethan Crawford, he's doubtful. Damien King is probable. Pretty simple as far as the keys to the game. Well, we cannot have any turnovers. We need to have 0 turnovers, and we probably need to get about 3+ turnovers to give us a great chance to be successful in this ball game. Questions?
Coach, first off with the injury report, Morris and Crawford, are those upper or lower body injuries?
You got upper body there for Chappelle Morris, and Crawford, you got the same.
Okay. And Morris, was that in the UVA game that occurred? Or
No, that's our last game. UMass?
Yeah.
Yeah, UMass game, actually.
Okay. Looking ahead to this game, Auburn fans tend to want to kind of jump off the ledge, I guess, when they're looking at their team. They've struggled on offense this year. When you look at them, though, and assess them, I mean, what are the biggest challenges that they're going to have for your team this year?
Speed. Can we match up their speed? Running backs to tight ends to their receivers. They're pretty massive as far as their offensive line. And then scheme-wise, Coach Lindsey, and then obviously Coach Malzahn, they do a fantastic job on their schemes and what they're trying to do as far as offensively. Can we match that speed? Can we match that strength? I guess we'll find out here on Saturday afternoon. So those are my concerns.
What about your receivers against their corners? You mentioned they play a lot of man coverage. Is that something you feel like bodes well for you?
We'll see. They got some fantastic corners. They got good length. They're strong. They're again, I can go by is on the paper, 6'1", 6'2", 200 pounds plus. So they have the good length and good size to be physical, and they've shown that. So it'll be an interesting matchup for us and see how we can do it. Because they do have some talented guys there, not just the corners, but also the safeties.
Alex Probert's not listed on the depth chart. Is he slated to play Saturday?
No, he's not going to play.
Coach, how does the challenge of playing Auburn compare to the challenge that you just had in Charlottesville?
I think the biggest difference is their defensive line. The comparison of those two, and again, we played Virginia. I know they had some injuries in some of their defensive line, but I think just looking at them both as far as watching their games and in the same situation, that's the concern is their defensive line is pretty big, but they can move. They got 300-pound guys interior, outside guys. Some people play with more about 240-pound guys. They play 280, and they can move and run and play very, very, very well. Their linebackers are senior guys. That they can strike you, and they move very, very well. So I think they're just probably a little bit more talented if you just watch the skill set on video and on tape comparing to Virginia. Virginia was good also, but this is a lot more speed, a lot more strength.
Did Probert re-aggravate an injury, or are you thinking about redshirting him?
It's a possibility of redshirting.
And last week you talked a lot about, playing an ACC opponent, in-state Power 5, being able to build a brand. How much does that carry over, being able, first-time Liberty's playing a SEC opponent going up against Auburn?
I think it's good and important in the recruiting. We're fortunate and blessed that we were able to play a team from Alabama there with Troy and being able to play well against them and win that game, and hope we can have a great showing against Auburn and see what happens. So recruiting, we're down in that area in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, kind of in the same where they're at. We have a lot of people that are evangelical Christians throughout the South, and the Liberty brand's getting out there to know what we stand for. We also play potentially now to play some good brand of football that we can have some people to be taking us more seriously as we go through recruiting. So all of it's important. Not to say we obviously want to win the football game, but I think we have a very solid showing against them. It can help us in recruiting.
Coach, you shared last night of a trip Nebraska took to Auburn during your days playing, and Bo Jackson's freshman year, the game that the Cornhuskers won. What do you remember about that game? Reflect on that trip if you can.
There's one or two things I can't share, but what I can share there is rowdy crowd, very, very impressive group of talented players. We had a good football team too. I think it was I want to say it was my junior year in 1982, if I remember correctly, that we played down there. They came to our place in '81, my sophomore year. So they had a good football team. I remember, I believe we kind of got up on there late in the game as far as that goes. So, again, that's kind of vaguely remember a long time ago there as far as trying to remember that. But great experience there that I had there. And been there as a player. I was a head coach at University of Buffalo. We also played there at Auburn, so I've been there twice before.
After the game, talking to the players, they, not happy to lose, but they did seem encouraged about the way they competed, and I think that was pretty evident just watching the game and how it was close in the third quarter. But what have you done to kind of keep them, in the moment, in the week that is, and does it help when you're playing Power 5 opponents that these games can kind of be all to themselves and guys don't kind of get lost in the big picture?
Well, I think our guys are confident as far as they've been able to compete so far. What we've done in our games that we played, 9 games, we also know it's a terrific challenge that we have. You're going to have to play even better than what we have been playing. But I also keep it in the perspective. The perspective is that we got to continue to improve individually as football players and also individually as coaches, and then hopefully we can continue to improve. If we continue to improve individually, then I think we can come better as a team. It still may not be enough to overcome Auburn, which I understand that, but let's focus on things that we can control. That is us getting better, and so it doesn't change from the first week that we played until here we are in the 10th, 11th week of the season, and I think that's the consistency that we want. Is you don't want to focus on the things that you can't control. You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too down. You got to enjoy the moment. You got to enjoy the experience, and that's what we are teaching our guys to do.
You alluded to explosive plays being down against Virginia, and I know that was something that you've been harping on the last couple of weeks. But what do you think was the biggest difference? How were you guys able to maintain and limit the explosives against UVA?
Well, I think part of it, we had our corners be a little bit more deeper in their alignment, and we used the term bail coverage, just meaning that they're going to get a little bit more depth on the snap, and we just literally just said we're going to keep it in front. Then hopefully we got to make some tackles. Unfortunately, the first play of the game, we did miss a tackle on a hitch route and all those type of things. So I think it was just emphasized a little bit more exaggerated, is even getting deeper as far as our corners and our safeties and all that. So I thought we had a good scheme as far as some of the things on the running game. It gave our guys opportunities in the box. But again, their quarterback was fantastic, and he's done it all year long as far as Perkins, as far as UVA. And so I think overall our staff did a pretty good job of coaching, and our players did a very good job of being more exaggerated in what they need to get done.
Coach, you've had a 100-yard rusher 4 of the last 5 weeks. What's led to that consistency for your offense?
All the above. When I say that, I'm talking about the offensive line. I think they've done a fantastic job. Coach Stam has really done a great job. We've maybe played 6 to 7 different guys as far as offensive line-wise. Been very, very consistent there as far as that goes. I thought our running backs, Mike Brown, done a fantastic job teaching, coaching, all the little different skill set. I've seen every single guy has improved in their skill set as a running back. There's certain drills that we had not done before that I hadn't seen some running back coaches do, and he's incorporated those things, and our running backs have run a lot better. Hickson has improved just in his own skill set. So tip our hat to everybody. I got to also give my hat off to Coach Daly, the offensive coordinator there, making calls and giving us the best chance to be successful, to try to average at 4 yards a carry. And I think we've done that for the most part.
What do you need to see from Damien King to decide if he's going to play for sure this week?
Just in practice how he moves, and hopefully nothing else comes up where he injures himself or doesn't feel comfortable. It's been, I don't know, exactly 5 to 6 weeks or so where he has not been out there as far as participating in practice. He did a little bit last week, so this is going to be really the first week where he's going to go full throttle, and hopefully he does not have any setback. We plan to play him. He feels good about it all, and now just a matter of how we feel about him, as far as how many reps he's going to be able to get, and more how going to be determined all the way through Saturday. We hope he can get to Saturday. If he gets to Saturday, then we're going to feel good about it, and we'll determine how much he plays.
What does it mean as a whole for your program to be able to compete against UVA and then now Auburn?
I think it means the brand, the exposure. When you play University of Virginia and you play Auburn, when you have that brand name like they have, you got a lot more people paying attention to it, and then seeing how we perform and how we do things. So I think it's just a great exposure, not just for Liberty football program, but the brand name of just Liberty University. It provides opportunity for people to look into our university now. Again, not just the athletes, but I think even non-athletes to say, let me check out this university, see if this is a fit for me. And then obviously the Training Champions for Christ, and you have the Christianity part of it that opens up a lot of things for people to take a look at us.
You go back and evaluate the 4th down play in the 3rd quarter. When you went back, watched the film, and had a chance to talk with Joe Daly, Buckshot Calvert, what was the consensus? Was it the right play call, or you feel like you should have gone with maybe?
Hadn't changed anything. Wouldn't change anything. glad that we went forward. Got to be aggressive. We got to do things to help our chance for our team to win. That's what I thought was best, and I wouldn't change anything.